The Kardashian star Kourtney Kardashian's son Mason Disick, her first child with her longtime partner Scott Disick, has chosen to move out of her home with husband Travis Barker, and I'm convinced he may never live with her again. Throughout the run of Keeping Up with the Kardashians and the Kardashians, Kourtney's relationship with her family has been explored in a deep, meaningful way. Though Kourtney started a family of her own in 2009, when she welcomed Mason with Scott, her children have been far less prevalent on the Kardashians than some of the other children of the large family. Mason, who was followed by Penelope Disick in 2012 and Reign Disick in 2014, has an interesting position in the Kardashian family, being the eldest child in the next generation. Born years before Kim Kardashian's daughter Northwest or Khloe Kardashian's daughter True Thompson, Mason has been able to navigate the world of the Kardashian family a bit differently than the rest of his famous relatives. At 14 years old, Mason seems ready to branch out from his famous family and forge his own path, especially considering how consistently things have changed for his mother in the last several years. Kourtney, who broke things off officially with Scott in 2015 and dated a few partners seriously before getting together with Travis in 2021, has had a whirlwind few years. After finally finding herself with Travis, Kourtney moved quickly as to not waste any time with the love of her life. The pair were engaged just a few months into their relationship and got married 3 separate times in 2022. The couple went on to announce that Kourtney was pregnant in mid-2023, the pair welcoming son Rocky later that year. After so many changes, I think Mason has finally had enough. Mason and Scott have a strong father-son bond. He wants to spend time with his father. Although Scott has had some difficult times in Mason's short life, dealing with addiction and tragedy in the early years of his son's life, the pair have an incredibly strong bond. Scott's family was small, and as an only child who was close to his parents, Scott has been open that he always felt it was important to have a close relationship with his children. Though he may not have been prepared to have 3 kids so close in age, Scott has embraced being a dad through the years and openly shares how much he loves and respects his kids. As Scott's first child and the oldest of the next generation, Mason had a lot of pressure put on him outside the family. Though he has appeared on the Kardashians and the former reality TV vehicle, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Mason has never seemed like he's interested in the reality TV lifestyle. More interested in Scott's passion, luxury vehicles, Mason has forged a bond with his father that's made him feel more comfortable living under Scott's roof rather than with the rest of his siblings and step-siblings at Kourtney and Travis' home. Mason has a strong bond with Scott. Mason seems embarrassed of Kourtney. She's been so public in her relationship with Travis. Scott Disick, Kourtney Kardashian and Mason Disick from the Kardashians in montage with No One Smiling custom image by Cesar Garcia. Although Mason and Kourtney likely have a decent relationship, he could be a bit embarrassed by her social media presence. Kourtney, known for her holistic lifestyle and the excessive PDA she's shared with Travis since they went public on social media, doesn't give off the typical mother persona. While she's been forging her path for years, it's possible that Mason could find the way his mother acts online and in public embarrassing. From sharing so much of herself on screen to featuring heavy PDA with her now husband online, Kourtney doesn't always seem to consider her children with her public persona. Although Kourtney is deeply present on social media and often shows photos of her other children, she doesn't post much about Mason and hasn't in years. Though this is most likely by design, it's always been somewhat strange to see Mason featured on his own social media and, at times, Scott's, but not Kourtney's. I believe Mason isn't seen on Kourtney's socials because he's asked her not to post about him, especially with the brand of content she shares that often features heavy PDA with Travis. Instead, Mason is featured on Scott's Instagram and shares photos on his own profile. Mason is rarely seen with Travis Barker. He may not get along with his stepfather. The Kardashians star Scott Disick with Mason Disick, Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian in intense montage with Dot's custom image by Cesar Garcia. While Mason and the rest of his siblings do spend time with Kourtney and Travis, Mason isn't seen with Travis frequently in the way that his other siblings are. While Penelope and Reign are younger, and therefore probably have less of a say about when they're with Kourtney versus when they're with Scott, Mason is a bit older and likely gets some more freedom. While it doesn't appear that Mason has any issue with Travis, he isn't frequently seen with his mother's new husband. It's possible their issues could be explored on a future season of The Kardashians.